Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the PantyNectar Podcast, your host, PantyNectar.
Hello. Welcome to episode 67 of the PantyNectar Podcast. It is your host, PantyNectar, here. I'm so excited for this episode of the PantyNectar Podcast. First off, 67. Can you believe that? I feel like we were just like 40-something.
When I hear 67, for some reason, I just think of like a classic sports car or something, like a 67 Camaro
like a crisp
or something.
Number. Yeah, that is. Okay.
Classic.
So we have a classic episode today.
Yes.
We are going to talk to you today about the history of lingerie.
Ooh, yeah.
I was reading up on some pretty interesting facts. And I decided what a great episode to share with the listeners. I know last episode was a little more upbeat. We talked about, personal development, growth, all those things. But now I want to throw some history at you a little bit. So we're going to do that today.
This is a PantyNectar history lesson,
yes.
right?
Ooh,
right.
I need
like
a roller. I should have got a roller.
What are you going to do with that?
I feel like hitting it.
I don't know. I might get a little scared around here if I see that.
Oh my gosh, Mr. P sees anything. I'm like, come on, let me tie you up. Come on, let me. He's like, not happening.
No. I just don't want to be. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You don't want to
not be in control.
Give your control.
Do you think that's like an ego thing? Because I don't know. Maybe it is. No. You have me sitting here to feel like if I need to let go of the ego, I need to get pounded in the ass with a strap on or something. I'm just like, I'm not sure that's the case.
So I was gonna say, I think yours isn't like more so ego. I think, like, to preface a little bit, Mr. P does not like being tickled. He does not like when you're messing, like, that little, like, messing with you, like, that's a no-go. It literally sends him into, like, a fight or flight mode.
It's like a second level of, I don't know. I come out of my body and just, like, I can't fucking take it. Like, I cannot.
Yeah. He'll freak out. And so, like,
I've always been just, like, so ticklish, and, like, so many people, use tickling as a form of play, and I'm not just talking about sexually. I'm just like in general.
No.
People. That's what people do.
Playing around. Yeah.
I'm not that fucking person. I don't play around with being tickled. Right? Like,
let me tell you. Yeah. So
Sorry,
I think yours more so is like you don't want to be fucked with. You know what I mean?
You might.
Which would mean you would have to trust me.
Whoa, are you saying I don't trust you? This is getting deeper, PantyNectar.
We're digging into this.
I thought we were going to talk about history. Now I just see myself tied up to bed, being tickled with fucking feathers on my feet or something. It's like, what's going on?
I honestly could not, like, I couldn't imagine being in that scenario with you. It doesn't fit us.
But could you imagine, like, fucking some dude in the ass with a strap on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I could. I feel like I have, like, switch tendencies. Like, I really like to be submissive, but there's sometimes where I'm just like, I just need to, like, spank something really hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I do know, and I also know that I don't necessarily think that was the way you felt a few years ago.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe PantyNectar, being PantyNectar and having so many people reach out to you and of course, many people want to fuck you, but many people, especially guys, want you to fuck them with a strap on, right? So, like, do you think
straight guys?
Yeah.
So it's like it does bring out a little bit of, like, a dominance thing in me, like, of me being in control.
I think it's kind of surprising how many people, how many straight men, right? And I use that in big old air quotes, right? Because what is straight? I mean, like, right? But, like, how many straight men enjoy getting pounded in the ass?
I've had conversations with people that they don't believe. They're like, they're gay. And I'm like, no, you don't understand, like, the dynamic of it. You don't understand it's not right to that. Like, that doesn't mean that, in my opinion, with what I've come across. I definitely, I think people are allowed to explore. And I think that labels, first off, are like a one-way track to disaster, in my opinion. And so like I try to explain to people like, no, you wouldn't believe it. Like some dudes just like to be fucked in the ass, or some dudes just like to watch their wife get fucked, and it's not like a cuck thing almost, like they just enjoy watching. You know what I mean? Like there's just certain dynamics about things. People wouldn't believe how many straight men want to get pegged.
Yeah. And you talk about like guys wanting to see their wives get fucked. I remember, and like that's considered really taboo, right?
Right.
Like you're fucking weird if you like that.
I've
like
heard
you're
people,
a weirdo,
I can
right?
never do that.
Which I understand. I understand if that's not you, but you also need to understand that there's fucking millions of people out there that enjoy that shit. So I remember years ago, it was like I don't know if it was like a fucking 2020 episode or something, but it was some type of news, episode, show. And man, this was probably 15, 20 years ago. And they did this study of like men and their sperm count.
Okay.
And they found that men who have a spouse, right? And it was all like predicated on like if the spouse being away, the wife, if you will, if the wife was away for a period of time, would the man's sperm count be higher when she got back? And
that's interesting.
Surprisingly, it was. And the researchers of this study came to the conclusion that the reason that is because men subconsciously, when their wife returns, they feel like they have to put out more because to like regain theirs. And it's like this game that we play in our minds that we don't even necessarily know is taking place, if that makes sense. Maybe a game's not the right way, but just naturally the way our minds react to our natural settings.
Biology,
and it's kind of interesting.
I find all of that interesting. And there was something I was going to say just now that had to
probably about getting pounded in the ass.
It had to do with like a study or something. But I'm sure.
Before we go forward, I know you have a history lesson to tell us about, but tell us about that Reddit video that you posted yesterday of you getting pounded in the ass with your fucking dildo strapped to the glass desk.
Oh yes. So I was just playing around with a couple different things. We have that new desk in our bedroom. It's a glass desk.
Yeah.
And I think it hit me like an epiphany. I said, I said, I can stick this thing to my freaking desk. And then I was like, oh my God, and I can put the camera underneath and catch that view. And it was so hot.
Yeah.
It was such I love like, artistically, I also love getting great videos.
Of course.
Not just for the content creating purposes, but I like making sexy videos. I'm very good at it. Everyone listening's like, yes.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. And so like being able to play around and do things like that. And I didn't know if you'd be able to see very well through the glass desk. But you could, and it was really awesome, especially when I just like lifted my ass a little bit too.
Yeah.
It ended up being perfect.
Yeah, I think
I'm glad you liked that one. Did that one stick out or something?
Yeah, it did. I think like, I don't know. There's something about looking through things and seeing things that makes things interesting, whether it's
sexy.
A transparent and just the way that like us as, human beings see the world around us, right? Like photographers, they're constantly trying to frame something, get the right composition within the frame. And oftentimes that's like if you're like a portrait photographer or something and you're in a room, well, you can use the doorway. You can subtly use a doorway to put somebody in that reference to frame them in with that doorway.
Give some point of view.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost like, and then I find it like the transparent, aspect of like what you're talking about with putting the dildo on the desk. And I just think that like being able to look through something like that,
yeah,
just adds so much more
Because it's like you have to watch,
right?
you know?
Yeah, and it's like, well, that dildo could have just as easily been sticking on a fucking singular pole or something, and it would have been cool to see, but it's not the same as like being underneath the desk and having that perspective looking up and seeing your ass get fucked with the dildo. So
it worked out perfectly.
It did. Thank you so much for blessing us with all those great videos.
You're welcome. You're welcome. No, and especially because people have been asking for more anal stuff. That's been something that has. And it's not that like I don't do a lot of it because I don't want to do it. I just like don't do it. When I have time to play, it's not with my ass, and when we play, it's together like that. So so I've been trying. The full videos are up on OnlyFans from that whole sequence of videos that was created. Which,
by the way, you got a really good cream pie last night.
I did.
Didn't get that one on video. That was kind of a spur in the moment in bed type thing.
I know whenever you're getting on top of me to get real close, I'm like, oh, this shit's about to be good.
Oh yeah, I went to go slide your panties off, and like you just you lifted your legs up and you fucking threw them things off you. I was like, all right, she's ready, let's go.
Right up by her head. Yes, I know when it's time for business. I know. Man. Okay, so to jump into our history lesson today, I actually found a couple different websites that had some pretty cool facts about lingerie. First off, I did not realize it was such a like when you truly think about how long the history of lingerie is, it's fucking long.
Yeah.
Like we're talking corsets back in the day. We're about to read about this lady. But how crazy, like when you truly think that something like that has been around and evolved for that long.
Well, and especially since like over time, like the views of sexuality and the acceptance of sexuality, right? And the dogma and the stigma surrounding those have changed over time, right? Like we're a much more free people, if you will, psychologically at least. Than we were 100 years ago, or whatever the case may be. Although I don't know, man. Like you look at like some of the videos and pictures of the Roaring '20s and shit.
Yeah,
like I think they try to make us believe one thing. I'm like, these people were having an awesome fucking time in the Roaring '20s, and
the history of lingerie, from what I read, just through all the websites that I found, they go through it goes through an up and down. So the lingerie industry was also had to do with what was going on in the world. So one of the things I'll read you here in a second, like during World War I, lingerie and certain types of lingerie were kind of kinked because they needed metal for other reasons. They didn't need it to be in underwire for bras.
Right.
So it's also evolved based on what's been going on in the world. So that's been pretty interesting too, that something like that has affected that.
Yeah, the geopolitical issues of the day, kind of have an active impact on what's going on that you kind of don't even realize.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so this is hiddenintimates.com. I believe it is a place to buy lingerie, but they have a cool blog up here. This one is by Kate Sisk. And it is just about a little bit of history of lingerie. So we start off. Mary Phelps Jacob was credited with making the first bra with 2 handkerchiefs and a ribbon because she was tired of wearing a corset. Mary Phelps Jacob was getting ready for a debutante ball in 1910 and was fed up with her uncomfortable whalebone corset. So she asked her maid to bring her a sewing kit, 2 handkerchiefs, and some ribbon, and she put together a bra.
Wow.
She got the design patented and established the Fashion Form Brassiere Co., a company that empowered women to produce bras without wires. Really? Isn't that? So she was one of the first ones to really push no wires in a bra, which I bet was extremely more comfortable than I couldn't imagine back in the day having wires.
So up to that point, there had been bras produced. They had just... This was in response to the war that was going on, and they were saying, hey, you can't use the metal anymore, basically. And so she came up with a roundabout way. So with the World War I, that actually happened after she started this company. So when they came and said, hey,
we don't want you to use metal anymore, her company boomed because it was one of the first ones, one of the only ones that didn't do metal wiring.
I got you. So she was already in good position.
She was already,
Yeah.
right place, right time. Yep. Fun fact about Mary Phelps, who was also known as Carisi Crosby. Why?
Okay,
I have no idea. Also had several interesting things in her life. One of those things being she named her dog Clitoris. And as you can see here, she's got like a little whippet dog.
Oh yeah.
Whippet dog.
Oh wow, that's a cool photo, man.
Right? How?
Yeah. So this photo PantyNectar pulled up is this portrait. It's a full length. Looks like 35 millimeter, I'm sure, and she has. Is that a whippet actually?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, she says with her whippet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's like a small little greyhound looking dog. The whippets. And it looks like it's all black or at least all dark color, and she's standing there with a full-length dress, at least down to below her knees, and I love the hats that they used to wear back then, right?
Yes, because you can tell she's got some beautiful dark eyebrows, and she has that probably red lipstick or something on. Real cool.
Man, she looks like a woman who knows what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
right?
She does.
Hell
Fine.
Yeah,
She named
like
her
a
dog
boss.
Clitoris. She knows exactly what's
Come
fucking
here,
going on.
I wonder if she called it by like a pet name.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what's her name? Mary Jacob what?
Mary Phelps Jacobs.
Mary Phelps Jacobs. Thank you for what you did.
Yes.
For the titties out there and keeping them perky. We appreciate
yes, thank you. So another fun fact, we stopped wearing corsets because of the U.S. War Industries Board. Some women were pro corset. They loved the look that they achieved. Some women really loved, that was like a style at one point, is having that super tiny waist and having that corset bump those boobs up. That was like the thing. It says other women argued against it, calling it oppressive because it prohibited women from performing basic functions like breathing, eating, and moving. So there was like a very, we hate them, we love them type thing going on.
It's like the person, I really like it because it makes me look good. Then the other person's like, I can't fucking live with this thing
I literally
right?
can't breathe.
Like, yeah, I think breathing's kind of important.
It says, despite the argument, corsets ultimately went out of style because of a metal shortage. The War Industry Boards asked women to stop buying corsets in 1917. It freed up enough metal to build 2 battleships for World War I. This also really helped business for Mary Phelps Fashion Form Brazil Co.
That is insane.
How wild is that? Enough, that's how many bras. They had enough metal to make 2 battleships.
I'm not questioning that data. But I sure wish somebody would do I would like to see the math on that because that's a lot of fucking underwire.
Yeah.
Right? Like to build one battle. I mean, how many, tons is one battleship? But I guess there was
Well, this article on Wikipedia, which we know how great Wikipedia is, but this little piece of this article actually says during the late 19th century, corsets became smaller, less bulky, and more constricting, and were gradually supplanted by the brassiere. First patented in the 20th century by Carisi Crosby, aka Mary Phelps. When the First World War broke out, women found themselves filling in men's work roles, creating a demand for more practical undergarments. So people started working more. We can't move. We can't breathe. What's going on? Manufacturers began to use lighter and more breathable fabrics. And in 1935, brassieres were updated with padded cups to flatter small breasts. You like how I grab them? I'm like...
Oh, where are they at? Oh, they're right here. I got small titties
Here's my
too.
babies.
Yeah.
And 3 years later, underwire bras were introduced that gave a protruding bust line. There was also a return to a small waist achieved with girdles. And in the 1940s, women were thin but curvaceous, had curvaceous hips and breasts that were pointy and shapely. So you remember that time.
The torpedo titties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Torpedo tits.
I love that. In the 1960s, the female silhouette was liberated along with social mores. The look was adolescent breasts, slim hips, and extreme thinness. Andre was the first to make a fashion statement out of the youth culture when his 1965 collection presented androgynous figures and the images of modern women comfortable with their own bodies.
Interesting. So then they started fucking burning their bras. It's like a movement. It's like
how crazy.
Huh. It's interesting to see that cycle too, of right? So what is the you said the girdle, right? So then they used the bra with the girdle to achieve the thin waistline. I guess they're kind of going after the corset look.
Yeah, so back when they used to wear corsets, it said that they didn't even wear underwear.
Oh wow.
They were called chemises or something. And that was just like a silhouette dress.
Okay.
You see, is that the girdle?
Yeah.
So the girdle like holds everything in right there on your lower half.
Right.
All the way up to your stomach. And then the corset was really just,
Okay, because I'm looking here. I'm like, what's the difference in a girdle and a corset?
I don't think the corset went all the way down.
Whoa, here's a dude with the girdle on.
Oh,
Should I get one, PantyNectar?
Yeah.
Maybe like squeeze it real tight above my dick so it makes it look bigger,
I love that.
I think that's one big
So
dick.
speaking of men, this says in a 2015 U.S. survey, 75% of women and 26% of men reported having worn sexy lingerie in their lifetime.
Wow. So PantyNectar, if I'm not mistaken here, I did a quick Google search of girdle and corset, and I went to Google Images, and it appears through my untrained eye that the difference in a corset and a girdle is that the corset is more of the full length, which goes from like the waist to above the breast.
Yes.
And the girdle is mostly just for the waist area to suck
Keep
in
your
the
stomach, yeah.
Okay. So that's what they were saying in your history lesson here is that that in the 50s and 60s, whenever that was, that after they got away from the corsets, that they went to the bras, and then they realized, we could put these girdles on to achieve the thin waist,
better.
Put our bras on, still look sexy there, and kind of have like the same look as a corset, sort of, but maybe it was more comfortable for them.
Yeah.
Man, I've thought for a long time, I am so glad I'm not a fucking woman, because like I could not imagine like having to like spend all that time like with my appearance. Like see, like I look like a fucking train wreck always.
Dude, like, same. I'm like, put some makeup on, please.
Yeah, it's like y'all have to do your hair and like makeup and like all this stuff.
So I'm getting my hair done today, actually.
You are getting your hair done today. What are you going to do to it? So many people, you've been getting, and I love your hair, your platinum hair, your short hair. What are you gonna do? I'm
just gonna trim it up a little bit more. I like keeping it that short length. I think it fits me, and then just giving away my secrets. I gotta dye my roots. We gotta take care of these roots a little bit.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, they're getting. My natural hair color is like a ashy blonde type color, and I love when people are like, "Is that your natural color?" I'm like. No, it's not.
Yeah, white.
No, yeah, white. Yeah, exactly. White. Yeah. So just getting it freshened up. I'm getting in a better routine of doing it more often, and so that helps my hair a lot. I was waiting 6 months to a year before getting it done, and you have roots that are 5 inches long. It's disgusting.
PantyNectar, you should allow me to do your hair.
I would let you do my hair. What would you do to it? Yeah, they're like, no, Mr. P.
I would trim it up really nice. It would be a perfectly flat little cut around the back. Okay. And then I would probably go to ChatGPT and ask how to do the most the best way to do platinum hair.
Dang, okay.
And ChatGPT, we would have a little conversation there.
A little back and forth.
And I might have to hop over to Google, which I noticed myself, like I am barely using Google anymore now that ChatGPT's out, like, because I can go and find an answer, like a direct answer with ChatGPT, or I can get a roundabout answer with fucking Google, right?
Right.
now Google is like ChatGPT is not integrated to the live web yet, unless you have an upgraded account that has the plugins. But all that stuff's still really early. But most of us don't have that connection to put ChatGPTs to where it can go check a sports score, for instance. If you're wondering what the basketball score was last night, or football, or soccer, or whatever, ChatGPT can't tell you. You have to go to Google to find that out because that's live information, right? But
gotcha.
So I would ask ChatGPT, and my little friend there would tell me the perfect way to do it.
I've been first off, Mr. P lets me cut his hair, so shout out to Mr. P.
Yeah.
Actually, he lets me. You said he lets me cut it, and then he goes and shaves it all after I cut it. There was a little bit in Florida when I was doing your haircuts pretty good in Florida for a little bit. I was a little bit of fade at the top, a little bit of long on the top.
Yeah, and I've kind of got it. Of course, like look how nasty it looks now, right? Like,
no, you're hot.
I kind of got into the routine of doing, not routine. I've done it twice now, but for the past 2 times, I've cut my own hair.
Yeah.
Right? Or 3 times maybe. And,
he kicked me to the fucking
and then like I'll have you like shape up the back so like my neck doesn't look so nasty. But like when I was in the Marine Corps, when you were deployed, like there weren't really barbers,
Yeah.
Or they were few and far between. So we all kind of learned to cut each other's hair, and then like the good barbers in your unit kind of rose to the top a little bit, and I was funny. And I was
They're
always kind of
commodity.
Yeah, well, it's like you have to have a haircut every week,
right?
Literally, like every fucking Monday, you better have a haircut. So I got pretty good at cutting hair.
Yeah,
I wasn't one of the best. There were some guys out there that could fucking seriously cut hair, man. That dude that I told you about, that guy that he used to cut his own hair like I do.
Oh yes,
except
yes.
Like he did it with a mirror behind his head and the fucking clippers, and it was flawless, perfect, shaved from a 0.
It's impressive
up to the top, right?
And a mirror too.
Yeah, for me it's much easier because like I still keep my hair like it's like a 4 on the side or whatever, so you can just blend it into whatever. But when you're going from a 0, like literally being shaved, to like hair on the top, it's hard to get that blended in, and this dude could do it no problem.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable.
So did you know in 2022, the lingerie industry had a total market size of, what's your guess for this number?
The lingerie industry, and I'm assuming that this is probably talking worldwide.
So this is, let me preface real quick, this is bedbible.com, and we'll put all these links in the show notes as well.
So I would probably say the lingerie industry worldwide, man, I mean, like if you throw like Victoria's Secret, I mean, like everything they sell, or most everything they sell,
Victoria's Secret specifically,
like that would be like lumped into that, and that's a multi-billion-dollar company right there. 50 billion.
Okay, for 2022, it was $296 billion.
Wow.
With a B.
Wow.
Said it is expected to hit $314 billion by the end of 2023.
Wow.
Yeah. How crazy is that? So there are obviously several different companies that sell lingerie. This says 17%. The lingerie industry makes up 17% of the women's apparel market. That's pretty interesting that it takes up that much of a chunk.
Wow.
Of women's apparel. So we're talking everything.
Right. Yeah. Jeans, shirts, dresses, jackets, fucking whatever.
Yeah. So it had a $282 billion market total out of the $1.7 trillion for women's apparel.
Wow. $1.7 trillion for...
In 2022, yep. How crazy is that? So bras account for 55.5% of the lingerie industry. More precisely, $150.4 billion worth of bras are sold each year.
Okay, so maybe I'm naive in thinking like, because now I'm curious, because it's saying like bras are 55%. Are they, and that's lingerie? Like, in my mind doesn't automatically go to thinking that old fucking like tan bra
No.
is lingerie. You know what I mean? Like,
and no, you're right. But think of what Victoria's Secrets has done with a lot of their bras are very nice bras,
Right.
regular t-shirt bras, but very nice bras.
Right.
We're also talking. I would assume that like bralettes are in here.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Anything that is worn
I
like
would think
that.
that would kind of be like the lingerie
The
aspect.
sexy,
to
yeah.
it, you know, like,
yeah. This thing says the lingerie industry is 9 times larger than the men's underwear industry.
what the fuck? Are you
9
serious?
times larger.
Wow.
So this says men's underwear account for $29.1 billion, while the lingerie accounts for obviously 271.
We be free balling.
So it says Victoria, and that's what, so like this.
Swing them around. We
this
don't need
said
no fucking underwear.
55.5% of lingerie is bras. People ask me all the time, you know, because I do sell panties, and they ask, "Oh, can I also buy a bra from you?" And I'm like, I don't wear, I really don't wear any bras. I try not to. It's just not my thing.
But it's uncomfortable.
It is. You can't wait to take it off when you're done doing whatever you're out doing.
Maybe I should try to wear a bra for a day.
You should
See how it goes.
We should. You're gonna have those lines under your freaking. Yeah. Ugh.
Can imagine. See, that's one of the things I could imagine. Yeah, it's just like I don't know. I never I free ball everywhere I go. I wear when I go running. I don't like wearing shirts. I never have just having things hanging on to me extra. Even this long sleeve shirt right now is just
And you have some short shorts too.
Yeah,
not right now, but you got some short running shorts.
Yeah,
I like those running shorts.
Thank you, PantyNectar.
You're welcome. So Victoria's Secrets is actually the world's largest lingerie company with $11.4 billion in sales annually.
Wow.
And they say Victoria's Secrets is the biggest because a lot of the other companies that do make more in the lingerie column, they're not just a company for lingerie. They are Calvin Klein, they are Gap, they are Ralph Lauren, Spanx. So they are also a company that sells quite a few
general apparel
different
type
things.
Yeah, you can get a Calvin Klein shirt or pants, and of course you can for Victoria's Secret, but that's their one-off thing, right? You see somebody with Victoria's Secret sweatpants, you're like, what the fuck?
Well,
that says pink down the side.
That's pink.
Okay.
Yeah, that's their sister kind of brand off of Victoria's Secrets. That is not technically what Victoria's Secrets is.
I got you.
Pink
that's like a subsidiary
is its own store.
brand.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that goes into what has to go into the calculations.
No. This is just Victoria's Secret.
Okay.
Yeah. And they say that specifically at the bottom because the other stores are not only focused on just lingerie.
Interesting.
So Calvin Klein on here, $6.3 billion. Gap, $16.6 billion.
And this is their lingerie sales?
Yeah.
Wow.
This says on the top 14 over the world's is the following lingerie brands and the according revenue stream for the parent company that is also in the lingerie vertical. So overall.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing that clothes, I think, are a culture, and Victoria's Secrets has obviously done a really good job creating that culture of sexy lingerie, fun, beautiful.
100%, and they have definitely made an effort over the past few decades to make sure that their version of sexy is the version that other people see as sexy as well. Why do you think they've spent no telling how much Victoria's Secret spent in the whole they do their own I don't know if they're pageants, but
no, it's
shows,
a fashion
shows.
It's
yeah,
the Victoria's Secret Angels.
The Angels, there you go. And so they spend a lot of time and money. I don't know if they still do it anymore, to be completely honest.
I'm not sure, to be
but
honest.
I know that they used to, and they did it for a long time. And so, but that was to push the narrative of look at what we're doing, and look at how sexy it is, and to get other people to adopt those same views, and then therefore go buy Victoria's Secret's lingerie, which Victoria's Secret, is the biggest brand, at least in my mind, that pops. I hear, when I think lingerie, I immediately think a lingerie brand. I think Victoria's Secret
right off the bat, yeah.
So, and truly, like they don't get really deep into like the lingerie of, you know, like corset type things and stuff. Like they're just kind of like bra and panties, right? Like, I mean, can you get like stockings and shit?
Have you been to Victoria's Secrets?
Let's go. I have not.
Babe, they do like, it is straight up like,
really?
We are talking corsets or baby doll, the, what do they call that? The doll thing where it's just the little light see-through cover up type thing.
Okay.
Like they do legit lingerie.
Okay, so it looks like we need to make a Victoria's Secret field trip.
Yes. I'm like, okay.
Be like, hi, I'm Mr. P. I come in here to seek the truth. I want to know what
you walk in. It's perfumes with the lingerie. It's like they make it very sexy.
They're gonna be like, sir, what the fuck are you doing in here?
No, we
recognize that weird ass voice.
Mr. P. Let me see the dick. They have men in there all the time with, it's the best place to go with your woman to go see lingerie being tried on.
Yeah.
And that is sexy stuff. We're not talking tan bra and panties, seamless matching set. I'm talking like sexy. Teddies. That's what they're called. Teddies.
Okay.
That overlay.
See, I don't even know. This is a whole new fucking concept. See, all right, I gotta get back.
We need to go. We'll report back to you guys.
Yeah. So Victoria's, they've done a great job. And it makes me wonder, you know, you talk about like the cultural side of this, and really and truly, like, it's all culture. Right? Maybe there is the comfort side of it, right? But you talk about like the corsets, and back in the day, them getting away from the corset because it's a whalebone. And it makes me wonder, is that where the term boner comes from? You know,
right. We like, said what? That, yes.
But most of it has to do with culture, you know, right? Like I think most women right now, even men too, would be like, oh yeah, when I get dressed up for a Saturday night, it's not to go out and feel good in the sense of like, oh, like I'm the most comfortable.
Right.
It's to go out and look good. And sometimes that requires, you know, putting on some tighter clothes and shit like that. Like I remember getting in my dress blue uniforms, and that thing for the first time just like fucking squeezes you. Like you can't even move. Like you're standing there and like, blues? Yeah, like you turn your head and shit. You have to turn your whole body because it's like locked in. And it's just uncomfortable, entirely uncomfortable. But yet it looks really good, and it provides that, you know, for the Marine Corps, the cultural significance. And I wonder, I feel like that we're at a big inflection point culturally. You know, we've discussed that even offline. I think the world's going to look much different 20, 30 years from now than it does now. And of course, you know, of course it will, right? Technology will ensure that. It's either going to seriously advance, or it's going to seriously advance and fuck us all, and then we're all going to get eaten by the machines. I don't know. But over that time, it wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing some shifts in what is accepted and generally considered sexy. And I think that especially with technology improving so much, that we may have some entrepreneurs that may have some great ideas that they may not be able to get out there because they're not a big brand with billions of dollars. But now they may be able to in a different way, and people may pick up on that. And who knows? We might be all walking around fucking with like pink hats. I don't know. That might be the new cultural thing.
So this thing about Victoria's Secrets, this is on the fashionablehousewife.com. This actually says Victoria's Secrets, the largest women's lingerie retailer in the U.S., was started by husband and wife Roy and Gabe Raymond. It was out of his embarrassment when he went shopping for lingerie for his wife. Victoria's Secrets was first a mail order catalog so that customers could shop in private.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
How? So like you were saying, the men, that actually was the whole basis of this. They didn't want to go in to buy lingerie for their wife, so that was started apparently by a mail order catalog.
I couldn't imagine how hard it would be to convince men to use this catalog to buy lingerie from their wife. And when did this start? Does it give a year? Victoria's Secret?
That Victoria started, no, but I can just look up real quick.
So you think back then, I mean, it's been a while, and like we have become a much more sexually free society. And so back whenever Victoria's Secret started, trying to convince your buddy, right? Your next door neighbor, hey dude, like I see old fucking Susie Q over there, your wife, like she doesn't look that sexy. Here, take this catalog and go buy her some lingerie. Like that would be a hard sell. So I'm surprised that
or maybe it wasn't. Maybe, so this says it was founded June 12th, 1977.
Okay.
So
maybe it wasn't what?
Like, maybe it wasn't that hard to get people like, hey, you can do this in private. We know how people act in private. They act way different. 100%. So maybe it was kind of easy to be like, oh, dude, thanks. Like, I'm going to go get my wife some lingerie now, and I don't have to go to a store to get it. Fuck yeah, win-win.
Well, it worked, right? I mean, I think that's the biggest metric we can use is like it's been a huge success. Now, obviously, they've gotten away from that business model of only men buying the lingerie through a catalog. But Victoria's Secret for the longest time, and I'm sure they still put out their catalog.
Right.
But I remember for years, like seeing Victoria's Secret magazines laying around on coffee tables around, friends' houses or their moms or whatever. And it's like, it was just like a part of the culture, you know? And it's like they did a really good job of that. And, and of course there's Victoria's Secret stores popped up all across the country and I'm sure world for people now to take advantage of. And they, when I think of Victoria's Secret now, I don't think of husbands, I think of sexy ladies. So
you think of tan bras.
Fuck no.
I'm just kidding. So this thing says 92.6% of all lingerie purchase decisions are affected by Instagram. Yeah. And I wholeheartedly believe that, because do you know how many things pop up on my Instagram shit that I'm talking about that I've been thinking about buying or this and that. So, and I believe it. There's a lot of ads for things like that,
Yeah, well, there's a lot in that, that little data point right there. I mean, it goes to show the influence of Instagram first and foremost, right? Like how many people that touches that they could impact, to a point that 92.6% or whatever it is of lingerie, is it lingerie sales?
Yes.
Come through Instagram. I mean, that is absolutely and showing the just how sucked in you can get people in that state. Advertisers take full advantage of that.
Because it says most lingerie purchases are affected by multiple channels, both social as well as classic TV or display commercials. However, very few purchase decisions are not affected in some way by Instagram.
Interesting.
Bra sizes are largest in the UK and smallest in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, the US doesn't have some big titties around. They say right here the the average bra size for the UK is a C cup, while Japan, the average size is double A cup.
Holy shit.
I belong in Japan.
What in the, why do Japanese have such small titties? Like, that's kind of
part of the genes. I don't know.
Obviously it is, but that's a good thing. Many of us like small titties. So Japanese ladies, do not worry. Do not worry. You could just you could take that bra and just throw it away. Don't even need it, apparently,
and then this last thing says 5 out of the 10 biggest companies that provide fabric to the lingerie industry are from ding, 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 China. Yep.
Well, that's not a surprise. I mean,
it is
China
not a surprise.
Fucking supplies everything. I mean, look at your whatever it is.
Everything. Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So, before we sign off, I had a very funny freaking comment the other day on my Reddit, and I think it goes line in line. I'm glad that we...
Okay, I'm kind of nervous for this. This is the way you're looking at it. Like, what was it?
So I've been doing this thing where, like, if someone cracks my ass up on Reddit, which it happens very often, I screenshot the comments so that I can read it here on the podcast, because these are just sometimes too funny not to. And this one caught me very off guard, but Come On Islander Sluts is the username.
Yes, I've seen that one.
He's been commenting a lot all over Reddit right now.
Isn't it in all caps?
Yes, it's in all caps
one. Yes,
so
all caps.
I gave him an award on this because it was hilarious, and it's very short, but he goes, his cock has a better fade than my head.
What?
How funny, yeah.
You gave an award for that?
Yes.
Okay, so when you read that, what was picture you saw.
Because people are always talking about how well cut you are. I guess you have a very nice circumcision.
Yeah.
So that's what
Dude, yeah, my DMs are always...
So the guy said his cock has a better fade than my head.
Because I'm sitting here thinking, dude, is my dick that hairy? I shaved that thing. I don't know. So he's talking about, the fucking the
You
tip of my dick.
thought I was roasting you? Yeah, no.
No, it wasn't even that. I'm like, what? What? I don't know.
Oh, my God. Hilarious.
Many times things fly over my head, PantyNectar, because I'm such a literal person.
Well, and you and I are from different generations. So sometimes...
Yes. The generation gap we often speak. That's what it is.
Oh my God.
You didn't know your dick had a good fade because you're a generation Xer, sir. Yeah, okay. I don't even know what generation.
In the mic.
This is the God's honest truth. In this, I am so fucking ignorant towards these things and just how much I don't care about labels and shit. I don't even know what fucking generation I'm a part of.
I don't either, to be honest with you.
I think I'm a Gen X and I think you're a Gen Z.
Okay.
But then what about the Ys? Right?
No, there are no Ys. There are no Ys.
Okay. Yeah. Because there is that little generational issue. It's not an issue, right? I'm just
okay, so Gen Z is people born in the late 90s and early 20s. To early 20s.
Okay, so
that's me.
Wait, 20s, 2020s?
2000s.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You said 20s, yeah. So okay, yeah, so you're Gen Z. So what about Gen X?
Okay.
Because I don't think...
Isn't that... Oh, yeah. That's you. That's you, baby.
Yeah.
Generations of Americans born between 65 and 80. 1965 and 1980.
Oh, no, that's not me. I was born in the early 80s.
Wait, so...
Mid-80s. Shit.
So what are you?
I'm the lost generation, babe. We're the fucking lost gen. That's why we're a bunch of D-gens.
Born in what year?
1985, let's say.
You are part of Gen Z post-millennial. I don't know. I don't know.
See, this is what I'm talking about with labels and shit.
Oh, no. Yours just says millennial generation.
So I'm a millennial.
Yeah.
So I'm the people they fucking hate.
A year before me.
You're not a millennial? I thought you were a millennial.
No, I'm a Gen Z.
What the fuck? So okay. See,
you're a fucking... Y'all are
So my generation's the one fucking up everything. I didn't even know this. And Gary Vee talks about, he's the parents, talk about the millennials and how much they suck. And he's like, well, y'all raised them.
Apparently, no, that's true. Apparently, a Xennial person, Xennial, is someone born between 1977 and 1983. I've never even heard that.
Still don't fit into that one.
Yeah.
Hey, people that write the fucking generations letters, please include 1984, 5, 6, and 7, please. Thank you.
Yeah, you're a millennial. Wow. I did not.
I might just fucking go into it right now.
This changes everything.
My view of myself is just diminished entirely.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode of the PantyNectar Podcast. I know we have. If you are not on Discord yet or maybe on Twitter later, I'll be popping on for a Spaces before my workout. So Can't wait to see you guys later.
Yeah, and always head to PantyNectar.com to check out the podcast, listen, and as always, that Discord is popping. There's 40,000 fucking people. It is
blowing up and the women are hot. So if you want to check it out, that's the place to be.
Every day. We'll see ya
next time.